Ready to ditch the get-rich-quick schemes and dive into what it really takes to build a life that shines.
Not just dollar signs, right?
Exactly. Today, we're going deep with Robin Sharma's The Wealth Money Can't Buy. Think less Wall Street, more soul-searching.
Sharma's not saying ditch the cash altogether. He calls it fuel for freedom. But
Oh, I like that.
makes you think, though, what kind of car are you building if you just focus on the fuel? Sharma says there are 8 forms of wealth we need to explore.
8. Okay, color me intrigued. Let's start with the foundation, shall
He
we?
sounds good.
Sharma calls Form 1 growth, honoring your greatness. And he believes inner growth underpins it all.
He has this really powerful anecdote about visiting his childhood home. He looks around and sees how far he's come.
Makes you think how much we all grow and change. That's what he means about investing in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Becoming the best you possible.
Absolutely. And it's not about measuring up to some external yardstick. It's about tapping into your potential. Connecting with what Sharma calls your, wait for it, heroic self.
Heroic self. I'm feeling a bit epic already. So how do we tap into this?
Think of it like training for a marathon. You wouldn't just show up on race day expecting to win.
No. I'd be in trouble.
Right. You need to train consistently, push your limits, build that endurance. Personal growth, it's kind of the same.
Showing up for yourself daily, practicing self-awareness. Okay, that makes sense. So I've got the foundation with growth. Now let's move to Form 2, wellness. This one really hit me because Sharma says, health is wealth you just can't buy back once it's gone.
And he doesn't just mean hitting the gym. He takes a holistic approach, Mental, emotional, spiritual, all of it matters.
So it's not just about green smoothies and kale chips then.
Well, those can help, but think of it like a 4-legged stool if one leg is weak.
The whole thing's wobbly. Yeah, I gotcha.
Hmm.
What are some of the things Sharma suggests for boosting well-being?
He's big on walking in nature. Boost creativity, focus. He even mentions Virginia Woolf and Charles Darwin were huge fans.
Wow, if it's good enough for them.
Uh,
I do find a good walk helps to clear the head.
right. He also talks about this fascinating thing called epigenetics.
Epigenetics. Okay, gotta admit, not familiar with that one.
It's basically how our lifestyle choices can actually change how our genes express themselves.
Wait, really? So it's not just about the genes we inherit?
It's about how we live our lives, how we nourish ourselves physically and mentally.
Wow, that's pretty empowering.
Yeah,
We have more control than we realize.
right. And this leads to something else Sharma talks about, dopamine detox.
Okay, now that sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
Think about it. Social media, emails, games on our phones, it's constant dopamine hits, leaving us feeling kind of empty,
Oh, I know that feeling. So
Yeah.
how do you actually detox from dopamine?
It's about taking a break from all that digital stimulation. A day, a weekend, whatever works for you. Reset that reward system.
Kind of like a digital cleanse. I like it.
Hmm.
What else does Sharma recommend for boosting well-being?
Laughter. He's a big believer in the power of laughter for both mental and physical health.
Laughter. Okay, I can definitely get behind that one.
And it's not just about feeling good. Studies show it can reduce stress hormones, boost your immune system. It can even help relieve pain.
So laughter really is the best medicine. Okay, we've laid the foundation with growth, building strong walls with wellness. Now for some heart, shall we?
The heart of the home.
Exactly. Form 3, family. Sharma argues that money and success, it all means nothing without those strong, loving connections.
He tells this amazing parable about a boy fixing a broken globe. Instead of trying to piece together all the continents and countries, he puts the person back together first.
Wow, that's powerful. Get the people right and everything else falls into place.
Exactly. And he backs this up with some really actionable insights.
Okay, lay it on me. What does Sharma suggest for building stronger relationships?
Simple rituals. He talks about how his own mother, whenever she's invited to a family dinner, always asks, "What can I bring?"
It's a small thing, but it shows she cares.
Right. It's not about grand gestures. It's those consistent acts of love, those everyday things. He also talks about friends, the kind that lift you up, challenge you in a good way.
Surround yourself with good people. That makes sense. Speaking of good people, what about those tough relationships? The ones that need a bit of work?
Sharma's a big believer in forgiveness. Holding on to grudges, he says, it just robs you of time and connection. He even tells the story about a client whose father and brother finally reconciled after years of estrangement.
Powerful stuff. It's never too late to mend fences.
Bleh.
Okay, so we've got the foundation, the walls, the heart. What's next in this house of true wealth?
Every house needs a roof, right? And for that, we turn to Form 4, craft.
Craft. Okay, I'm listening.
Sharma's all about finding purpose and mastery in your work. See it as a noble pursuit. not just a way to pay the bills.
A lot of people see their jobs as a necessary evil. Is he saying we can all find fulfillment in our work?
He tells this great story about Steve Jobs. Jobs insisted on making the inside of the Macintosh computer beautiful, even though no one would ever see it.
Wow, attention to detail. Talk about taking pride in your work.
Right, it's that striving for excellence. Not for applause, but for the satisfaction of a job well done.
What else does Sharma say about turning work into craft?
Embrace your quirks, your unique talents. Don't try to fit in, let your freak flag fly.
Love it. Celebrate what makes you different. Use it to fuel your creativity.
He talks about Tesla, Gaga, Da Vinci, all these iconic figures who embrace their individuality. And speaking of great works, Sharma reminds us that mastering any craft takes time. He uses the Duomo as an example.
The Duomo.
That magnificent cathedral in Florence, it took over 600 years to build.
600 years. That's wow.
Patience, my friend. True mastery, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, I'm sensing a theme here. Good things take time. Whether it's personal growth, building relationships, or mastering a craft.
You got it. And speaking of things that take time, effort, discipline, let's talk about money.
Form 5. Money. The one we've all been waiting for.
But remember, Sharma sees it as fuel for freedom. A means to an end, not the end itself.
So it's not about chasing riches for the sake of it.
He tells this story about a multi-billionaire living in an almost empty mansion. All the money in the world, but clearly not finding happiness there.
A big house doesn't equal a full heart, huh? So how do we build a healthy relationship with money then?
Sharma says it starts with gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay, explain that one.
He calls it a money printer.
A money printer. Intriguing.
It's about shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance, believing there's enough for everyone. And when you're grateful for what you have,
You attract more good stuff into your life. Okay, that makes sense.
then
But it's not just about thinking positive thoughts, right?
absolutely not. You gotta take action, but with that abundant mindset. He also cautions against the comparison trap. You know how it is, scrolling through social media.
Easy to fall into that trap, for sure.
It's a recipe for unhappiness. Sharma says, another person's winning is your victory. Celebrate their success. Let it inspire you.
Okay, good advice. Easier said than done sometimes, though.
It takes practice, like anything else. And when it comes to financial success, Sharma's a big believer in habits over IQ.
So it's not about being a genius.
It's about making smart choices consistently, day after day. Build those good financial habits.
Like saving diligently, investing wisely.
Exactly. And Sharma talks about addressing what he calls scarcity scars.
Scarcity scars. Okay, yeah, explain that one.
Think about it. If you grew up with financial instability, maybe even poverty, those experiences can leave a mark even if you later become successful.
Like a lingering fear of not having enough.
Exactly. It can lead to unhealthy behaviors around money, hoarding, fear of spending. Sharma says you have to acknowledge those scars and work on healing them.
Okay, that's deep. So how do you heal those scarcity scars?
He suggests doing a scarcity inventory.
What's that?
Identify those limiting beliefs you have around money. Challenge them. Replace them with positive, empowering beliefs.
So basically, rewire your brain for abundance.
You got it. It's about creating a new internal dialogue that supports your financial goals.
Love it. I love how Sharma brings awareness to the mental and emotional side of money. It's not just about the numbers in your bank account.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got our foundation of growth, the strong walls of wellness, the heart with family, a sturdy roof with craft. What's next? Building out the neighborhood.
You read my mind. Form 6. Community.
Sharma's big on surrounding yourself with people who lift you up, inspire you to be your best.
Makes sense. Your environment plays a huge role in your success.
He has this great analogy. He compares your social network to a neighborhood. Would you rather live in a rundown place with negativity and crime?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Or a vibrant one, full of opportunity-friendly people?
Okay, I get the analogy. Choose your neighborhood wisely. Choose your friends wisely.
Exactly. He even suggests starting a mastermind alliance.
Mastermind alliance.
A group of like-minded people. Meet regularly, support each other's goals, accountability, shared learning, all that good stuff.
Sounds amazing. What else does Sharma say about building a strong community?
Practice karma. Be kind, compassionate, even when it's tough.
Even to people who maybe don't deserve it.
He even says turn enemies into friends.
Wow, that's a challenge.
It's about breaking down barriers, creating more connection in the world.
Okay, so we've got the foundation, the walls, the heart, the roof, good neighbors. What's next in our house of true wealth?
Let's open some windows, get some fresh air. It's time for Form 7.
Ah,
Adventure.
adventure. Okay, tell me more.
Sharma is all about stepping outside your comfort zone, exploring the world with a childlike curiosity.
So we're talking travel, exotic destinations.
Not necessarily. He talks about finding your invisible Panama.
Invisible Panama. Okay, I'm officially intrigued. What is that?
It's the idea that adventure doesn't have to be about expensive trips or far-off places. It's about finding those hidden gems of wonder and excitement right here in our everyday lives.
So it's about shifting our perspective, being open to new experiences.
Exactly.
Hmm?
Could be exploring a new part of your city, trying a new hobby, or simply taking a different route to work.
It's about those little things that make life more interesting.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money or take up a lot of time. It's about cultivating an attitude of openness, being willing to try new things.
I love that. Especially in today's world where we can get stuck in our routines so easily. Okay, what else does Sharma suggest for bringing more adventure into our lives?
He actually recommends starting a garden.
A garden. Okay, now that's an adventure I can get behind.
It's about connecting with nature, getting your hands dirty, and experiencing the joy of nurturing something from seed to harvest.
I love that. It's a tangible way to connect with nature, and it's a great metaphor for personal growth, too.
Right. We need tending and care to flourish, just like a garden.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired to get my hands dirty. Anything else Sharma has to say about cultivating that sense of adventure?
He encourages us to become poets.
Poets. I'm not sure I'm ready to start writing sonnets.
He's not talking about formal poetry. It's more about approaching life with a sense of wonder, that same creativity and appreciation for beauty that we see in poetry.
So it's about seeing the world through a different lens, finding magic in the mundane.
Exactly. And expressing ourselves authentically, whether it's through writing, painting, dancing, whatever lights you up.
I love how Sharma encourages us to tap into our creative potential, whatever form it takes. Okay, so we've got the foundation, the walls, the heart, the roof, good neighbors, fresh air and sunshine. What's the final piece of this house of true wealth?
Well, every house needs a solid foundation, and that brings us to Form 8, service.
Service. Okay, tell me more about this one.
Sharma believes true wealth is measured by the positive impact we have on others.
So it's not just about what we accumulate for ourselves, it's about how we contribute to the world.
He tells this touching story about encountering a teenager who was just so grateful for a small act of kindness.
It's those little things that can make a big difference. So what does Sharma suggest for bringing more service into our lives?
Find a cause bigger than yourself, something that lights you up and inspires you to make a difference.
So it's about aligning our passions with our desire to serve.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where our talents and interests meet the needs of the world. And he talks about leading without a title.
Leading without a title.
We can all be leaders in our own way, right? Regardless of our position or status.
So it's not about waiting for permission or recognition to step up and make a difference. It's about taking initiative.
Exactly. Serving others with humility and generosity, recognizing that we all have something unique to offer.
I love that. Okay, I think I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. Sharma's not just talking about financial wealth. He's painting a portrait of a truly rich and meaningful life.
And he's reminding us that it's all within our reach.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. What's next?
Well, we've laid the groundwork. Now it's time to start building.
It's amazing how each of these forms builds on the last. Growth, wellness, family, craft, community. It all fits together.
Like we're building this incredible house of true wealth, brick by brick, each form adding something essential.
I love that image. And I love how Sharma doesn't just talk about these things in isolation. He shows how they're all connected.
He's a master at weaving it all together, showing how each form supports and strengthens the others.
It's not about achieving perfection in one area while neglecting the others. It's about striving for balance, harmony across all 8.
Exactly, like a symphony. Each instrument playing its part to create a beautiful whole.
Speaking of symphonies, you mentioned earlier that Sharma encourages us to embrace adventure. He even suggests we become poets. I'm not sure I'm ready to start writing sonnets.
He's not saying we all need to become Shakespeare. It's more about approaching life with that same sense of wonder, that creativity and appreciation for beauty that we see in poetry.
So it's about seeing the world through a different lens, noticing the extraordinary in the ordinary.
Exactly. Finding magic in the mundane, whether it's the way the sunlight filters through the trees or the intricate patterns on a butterfly's wings.
It's about paying attention, being present in the moment.
and expressing our unique perspective, our experience, whether it's through writing, painting, dancing, or just sharing our stories with others.
I love that. Sharma encourages us to tap into our creative potential, whatever form it takes.
It's about bringing that same spirit of playfulness and exploration that we had as children into our adult lives.
Speaking of playfulness, you also mentioned earlier that Sharma suggests we find our invisible Panama.
Ah, yes. Invisible Panama
Yeah.
is one of my favorite concepts from the book.
I have to admit, I'm still a bit fuzzy on what it means.
It's Sharma's way of saying that adventure doesn't have to be about grand expeditions or exotic destinations.
It doesn't. So we don't all need to climb Mount Everest or trek through the Amazon.
Not unless you want to. Invisible Panama is about discovering those hidden gems of wonder and excitement right here in our everyday lives.
So it's about shifting our perspective, being open to new experiences, even in familiar surroundings.
Exactly. It could be exploring a new neighborhood in your city, trying a new restaurant, or even taking a different route to work.
It's about shaking things up a bit, breaking out of our routines.
And embracing the unknown with a
And
sense of curiosity and wonder.
I love that.
Yeah.
Finding those little pockets of adventure that spark joy and make life feel more vibrant.
It doesn't have to be expensive or time-consuming. It's more about an attitude,
Yeah.
a willingness to try new things.
I think that's something we can all benefit from, especially in today's world where it's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget to slow down and appreciate the simple things.
Absolutely. And speaking of slowing down and appreciating the simple things, Sharma also suggests we start a garden.
Now, that's an adventure I can get behind. I've always wanted to have a garden.
It's such a wonderfully grounding and rewarding experience.
What do you love most about gardening?
It's about getting your hands dirty, connecting with nature, and experiencing the joy of nurturing something from a tiny seed to a beautiful plant.
It's like a miracle, isn't it? Watching something grow from practically nothing.
And it's a great metaphor for personal growth, too. Just like a garden needs tending and care to flourish, so do we.
I love that analogy. It's about cultivating patience, resilience, and a deep appreciation for the interconnectedness of all things.
Precisely. And it's a reminder that true wealth is not something we acquire, it's something we cultivate, both within ourselves and in the world around us.
Okay, so we've explored growth, wellness, family, craft, community, and adventure. Where does Sharma take us next in our exploration of true wealth?
To the heart of it all, really, he takes us to Form 8, service.
Service. That's a powerful word.
It is. Sharma believes that true wealth is measured by the positive impact we have on others.
It's not about what we accumulate for ourselves, but how we contribute to the world.
Exactly. He has this great line in the book, it's never a bad thing to do a good thing.
Simple, but so true. It's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference.
No matter how small. And it's not about grand gestures or heroic acts. It's about those everyday acts of kindness and compassion that ripple outwards.
Creating a more loving and connected world. So how can we incorporate more service into our lives? What are some practical things we can do?
Sharma encourages us to find a cause bigger than ourselves, something that resonates with our values.
Something that lights us up and inspires us to take action.
Exactly. It could be volunteering our time, donating to a charity, or simply using our talents and resources to help others in need.
I love that. It's about finding that sweet spot where our passions and skills align with the needs of the world.
And he talks about leading without a title. We can all be leaders in our own way, regardless of our position or status.
It's about serving others with humility and generosity, recognizing that we all have something unique to offer the world.
And he makes this really powerful point about how being good is good business. It's not just about doing the right thing, it's about building a reputation for integrity and trustworthiness.
Which ultimately benefits everyone involved.
Exactly. And it all comes back to that idea of service, of contributing to something larger than ourselves.
It's about making a positive impact on the world.
He also has this great line, your heart is wiser than your head.
I love that. It's a reminder to trust our intuition, let our compassion guide our actions.
Sometimes we get so caught up in our heads and logic and reason that we forget to listen to our hearts.
And our hearts often know the way, don't they?
They do. And Sharma reminds us to lead without a title. We don't need a fancy position or a lot of authority to make a difference. We can all be leaders in our own unique ways.
Simply by stepping up and serving others.
Okay, I feel like we've covered so much ground in our exploration of Sharma's 8 forms of wealth.
It's been a truly inspiring journey.
It has, and we're not done yet. There's one more piece of this house of true wealth we need to explore.
Really, what could it be? We've already covered so much. Growth, wellness, family, craft, community, adventure, service. What's left?
The most unexpected and perhaps the most profound form of wealth: solitude. Sharma calls it the new status symbol.
Solitude is a status symbol. Now, that's a concept I haven't heard before.
Think about it. In a world that's constantly pushing us to be connected, productive, and externally validated, solitude can feel like a luxury.
A sign that you're confident and secure enough to be alone with your own thoughts and feelings.
Exactly. And it's something we often neglect in our busy, hyper-connected lives.
We're so used to being plugged in all the time that the idea of being alone can feel almost scary.
It can. But solitude is essential for our well-being. It's a time to recharge, to reconnect with ourselves, and to tap into our inner wisdom.
It's in those quiet moments that we often have our greatest insights and breakthroughs.
Exactly. It's like stepping off the treadmill of life for a moment and just allowing ourselves to be.
To breathe, to reflect, to simply exist.
And Sharma even suggests we consider having a living funeral.
A living funeral. Okay, now that sounds a little intense.
I know it might sound morbid, but it's actually a really powerful exercise in perspective. Imagine gathering your loved ones together and having them share what they love and appreciate about you.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Imagine hearing all the ways you've touched their lives and made a difference in the world.
I can see how that would help you to really appreciate the preciousness of life and to focus on what truly matters.
Exactly. It's a reminder that our time here is limited and that we should cherish every moment.
It's about living fully so we can die empty, as Sharma says.
Precisely. It's about embracing life to the fullest, pursuing our passions, making a difference, and leaving nothing on the table.
I love how Sharma challenges us to confront our mortality, not in a way that's morbid or depressing, but in a way that inspires us to live more intentionally and make the most of the time we have.
He reminds us that life is a gift, a precious gift, and that we have the power to create something truly beautiful with it.
I think that's a wonderful way to frame it. Okay, so we've explored all 8 forms of wealth, from growth to service to solitude. It's been quite a journey. What are your biggest takeaways from our deep dive into Sharma's The Wealth Money Can't Buy?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that true wealth is holistic. It's not just about money or possessions. It's about cultivating a rich inner life, nurturing strong relationships, finding purpose in our work, and making a positive impact on the world.
It's about living a life of meaning and purpose, a life that feels truly abundant and fulfilling.
Exactly. And I love how Sharma makes it clear that this kind of wealth is attainable by anyone, regardless of their background or circumstances.
He provides so many practical tips and strategies that we can all implement in our lives, starting today.
It's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about those small, consistent changes that compound over time, creating a life that truly reflects our values and aligns with our deepest desires.
It's about taking ownership of our lives and creating the masterpiece we were born to create.
And it's a journey, not a destination. There's always room for growth, expansion, and new adventures.
Wow, it's really incredible to think back on everything we've covered about Robin Sharma's 8 forms of wealth, each one so powerful in its own right, but together.
It's like they create this roadmap to a truly extraordinary life, one that's rich and fulfilling not just financially, but in every sense of the word.
And what I love is that he makes it so clear that this kind of wealth, it's not reserved for the lucky few.
It's available to all of us. No matter where we're starting from, it's about making conscious choices, right? Shifting our perspectives and taking action to create the lives we want.
He doesn't shy away from the fact that it takes effort, dedication, commitment.
But the rewards are so worth it. And he reminds us that it's not a race to the finish line. It's a journey to be savored. A journey filled with growth, joy, and a deep sense of purpose.
I love how he challenges us to ask ourselves, which of these forms resonates with me most right now? It's such a powerful invitation to really reflect on our lives.
Yeah, to identify those areas where we might need to focus our energy and attention.
It's about taking all this incredible knowledge and actually doing something with it, right? Not just letting it sit there in our minds, but putting it into action.
It's about asking ourselves, what's one small step I can take today to cultivate this form of wealth in my life?
And for everyone listening out there, we want to hear from you. What stood out to you from this deep dive into The Wealth Money Can't Buy?
What resonated most deeply? Which form of wealth are you feeling inspired to cultivate?
Maybe you're feeling called to prioritize your well-being or reconnect with loved ones.
Or maybe it's finally time to dust off that dream project you've been putting off, to step outside your comfort zone and embrace adventure.
Or perhaps you're feeling called to give back to your community, to make a difference in the world.
Whatever it is, remember that the journey begins within. It starts with that first step, that commitment to yourself and your growth.
So this deep dive into Robin Sharma's The Wealth Money Can't Buy, it's really been an eye-opening exploration. We've touched on so many powerful ideas.
The importance of inner growth and wellness, the power of connection, the fulfillment we can find in our work, the transformative potential of service.
And of course, we talked about the role of money, not as the ultimate goal, but as Sharma so brilliantly puts it, fuel for freedom.
A tool to create the life we want, a life that's rich with meaning and purpose.
And as always, we've just scratched the surface. If you're ready to dive deeper into Sharma's wisdom, we highly encourage you to check out his book and explore all the amazing resources he offers online.
You'll find all the details in our show notes.
And remember, the journey to true wealth, it doesn't have to wait. It starts today, with one small step in the right direction.
So go out there and make your life extraordinary.
Until next time, keep diving deep.